Okay, we should be back. Be good. Okay, and that way I can I can upload it as a separate video. I'm gonna upload the Talos Principle gameplay too, and I think we can beat it on stream. But I just want to do it as separate videos because that's gonna make it so much easier. I don't have to like edit anything then. Okay, so perfect. Let me get some music up and going then. It'd be way too loud. Actually, I can do it through YouTube. Trying to get it just the right volume. It's okay. I am semi-back. I need to focus on task I have, but I just searched for no gods, no kings, only human. It appears this quote was used as the name of some Thailand protester photo book. I think the quote specifically is no gods or kings, only man. It was a little loud. But that was used by like some Thailand protester like recently? Oh no, so it's fine. I've recently watched somebody play through that whole game again, so that's why it's like fresh in my mind. I do like to play Bioshock at least once every couple years. Oh, they use close but different quote. Maybe they were like, they played it and it was translated and I don't know. Does Unreal have new assets yet? Let's see, new free assets, I mean. Oh, it wasn't used in relation to Bioshock, okay. Well, was it like before Bioshock was made, or was it after Bioshock? I just want to know who inspired who, potentially, here. Or they could have come to the same, you know. Okay, it was used after. Free game. Turnip Boy. Turnip Boy commits tax evasion. Okay. I see. No new free stuff yet. Okay, let's try to refactor this alchemy table a little bit. Oh, first Tuesday of every month. Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know there was a set time for that. So it'll be on the 7th. I thought it was just essentially like a few days after the new month started, but I guess there's a set time. Makes sense. And on this month, it's not very ideal. Just watch Epic, like, new for this month, November, fully functioning alchemy table. No. That'd be funny. Table. Oops, not the camera. Actually, do we even use this anywhere anymore? I don't think we use it. No, because it was originally with the camera switch. Yeah, we could probably. Yeah, that's part of the interactable. Okay. Okay. Let's at least first get everything into comments so I know what I'm looking at. Hey, you joined at an unfortunate time. I actually just stopped playing the game, and we're just doing a little bit of blueprint cleanup at organization. So not necessarily the most exciting part of this. Unfortunately. In play, set up some variables. Logic, win, starting and ending alchemy. Okay, this is everything to do with clicking. Main alchemy, click and drag functions. Not really functions, are they? Yeah, maybe I should find some like other music that I could use that isn't going to copyright claim me. It's kind of annoying. Not that big of a deal though. I mean, we could always like try to get some sponsor. I don't know who the hell's going to sponsor a game dev, but maybe somebody would, and then we can I don't know. So I played originally from the Spotify playlist from Chill Hop, which is their official playlist, and they say as long as you put the right text in your video, and I can show you. So as long as you put, how do I credit the music on Twitch? We create the image on a channel panel, which I've done. You'll see that below the channel it says Chill Hop FM, right? How do I credit the music on YouTube? We create the account, which we have. I think I might be logged in. No, I'm not currently logged in. We linked Twitch or YouTube channel, which I'm pretty sure we did. Hold on, let me double check. Give me a sec. I think we just made an official channel though. This might not be the right account. No, hold on. Let me try to log in. I don't know which one I used. Okay, give me a sec. I gotta copy down this randomly generated password that I used. Set up the account. Hey, this is a puzzle. This is like... Okay, yes, please remember me. I don't want to have to put that in again. Okay. We're logged in. Good. Don't put that there. Okay, so we link up our YouTube and Twitch, right? Which is fine. That's what they tell us to do. Let me go back to the instructions. Okay, create an account, we did. Link our channels, we did. Crediting chill out music. Okay, so we make this channel, right? We did that. Crediting video uploads on YouTube. Crediting YouTube live streams or stream exports to YouTube. The instructions for crediting a live stream via YouTube follow a similar credit standard as Twitch. All we ask during the live stream is to include the following text to the video's description, which we do. And every single, because I set up a template on all of our YouTube videos, we have that in the description. Right, like this one got a bunch of claims. I think it was our most claimed one. You can see here. But we put this, so we put the credit right here in all of them. I don't get it. And we even like dispute the claim, but they uphold, so I don't really know why it's not working. I should probably just try to reach out to their support or something. I'll probably just reach out to them. Like it's not a big deal. Like we can't even start monetizing on YouTube until we reach 1,000 subs. So it's not a big deal. I don't think we'll ever reach that, and even if we do, people aren't really going to watch our dev streams, right? So, not a big issue. The issue is just that we're getting copyright claims. Like, it's not copyright strikes, so these aren't going to like hurt our channel. It just means that if we start to monetize these videos in any way through ads, the claimants will get this money, I assume. So I don't really know. I don't really know what to do, but I only did this as a preventative measure so that if we started to monetize, we could use all of our back videos as, you know, we can monetize those, but it really isn't that big of a deal. Of the music being used, the music that you hear right now, for instance. Technically, it should be royalty. It's royalty free. All you have to do is give credit, which I'm doing. Okay, what is this one? Interact. Oh, this is the interact to, yeah. Okay. Initial interactable message from. It's weird, like they say that it's possible that sometimes it doesn't find it, but I did dispute one of those claims and it was denied. I don't know if I can show that somewhere. Everybody? God, I'm getting everybody now that I started development. You guys don't like games? You don't like watch me play games? Is that it? Or was it just bad timing? Yeah, so I did it on day one because we had you know, one claim on day one, right? I made the dispute and it got rejected. I mean, I can appeal it, which I probably will. I'm gonna contact Chill Hop first and just ask them like, hey, what the hell? So I don't know. I mean, it is a different copyright claimer here. It says believe music on behalf of Mango Music. I don't know who either of these two are. They could just be fake ones that make claims like this, right? I don't really know. I don't know what to think. One of Pakistan's leading entertainment, right one. Weird. I mean, I can always just, you know, like trim out segment or mute that part of the. It's only 25 seconds, right? Like I can just mute that part and the impact is gone. I just want to know why it was claimed in the first place when I was, you know, Chill Hop told me like, yeah, you won't be claimed. And if it does, just appeal it or just dispute it and it'll be fine. I don't know. Who cares? I'll reach out to them this weekend and see if we can clear up some of these. In worst case, I'll just have to mute certain sections of the streams, but if it's like just a few seconds here and there, it's not that big of a deal for a multi-hour stream. It is what it is. There's some Mario sounds I just heard. Okay, so this is our tick trace. This is our debug. Debug on tick. That needs to be cleaned for sure. It's terrible. Okay, so this is our, we call it ingredient zoom, but it's just our right click zoom. Let's rename that because it'll be a bit more accurate. This is called alchemy zoom. Why did I make it renamed? It still says ingredient zoom here. I don't really know why that didn't change. Maybe I can just reload the node. Weird. That way we can do switch to ingredient cam, and this will be switch to Cauldron cam, right? Switch to Cauldron. Already I don't like this though. Why? Oh, it's cause we're, yeah. So part of the issue was that we're doing this tick trace and we're doing all this stuff to determine whether or not we land on a ingredient, which is this. This is the problem, really. We're only doing logic to determine if we land on an ingredient. We need to do logic that is more flexible, so we can determine what we're actually hitting. The problem is that we're doing a visibility trace. Why was that an issue? What was the problem with the visibility trace on this? Oh, that's right. It's because it was hitting this interactable. So I don't know if we could change this. I don't know if we need to. But we definitely need to clean this so that it's a lot more robust. So that needs to be cleaned and refactored, okay. But I know that there will be more things that we hover on and want to right click on the table, and I think that this will need to be refactored so that we don't just do a bunch of branches. I'd rather have it perform a switch on the thing that we're interacting with. But in order to do that, we need to cache whatever actor or component that we're clicking on, or that we're getting underneath that trace on tick. I know that we did the interactable on visibility trace. Yeah, I know why we did that. It's just because the default collision preset is much more friendly for that. I mean, we could always just make the interactable we could just move the box, the interactable box, from the parent outside of this, right? Because it's just this collision, and we can just move this anywhere we want. We could even, update the... We could update the parent as well to have multiple boxes that we can utilize. But really all we need is, we just do this, right? Hold on, does anything else perform based on the visibility channel? We could just do it the old school way too, where we just have like a separate box here and we just check if the player's inside of it, and they can just press E to interact, just to start alchemy, right? And that way we don't have to perform a line trace. Like, I think it works. It's certainly robust when it comes to interactables like this. But yeah. Hey, really, I'm good. I'm good. I'm getting a little tired, but I wanted to clean this up before the weekend because we're gonna stream more Talos Principle next week. So at least for now, I wanted to make sure that this was organized, and when we return to it in a few days or next week sometime, we weren't completely in the dark with what we needed to mess with. Your code needs to be relatively clean enough so that if you return to it even a month later, you kind of know what you're doing. I do know what the date is today. It's somebody's birthday. I do know that it is somebody's birthday. I don't know who, but somebody's. Maybe we can just make the interaction more robust. Why don't we do that? VP interactable. Somebody important? Yeah, I bet. I bet. We perform the line trace, and the line trace, that's done through the first person, right? Through the player. How far is this trace? How far is it? Oh, I need to, hold on. Because we could just make this further. Because we could just make this further and, like, I don't know, put it just on the ground. To the point where if the player is standing and looking at the table, it's actually just hitting the interactable. I mean, it's just a prototype, right? The issue is that I need this. I need the visibility trace, really. Or can I solve this in a way that doesn't use the visibility trace when I'm... I probably can. Trace. Yeah, it's really that this tick trace is doing this. Shit. I don't know, I gotta think. I mean, we could give everything on the table, including the table, its own channel. Essentially like the alchemy table channel. And anything on the table can receive hits from that. Everything else just ignores it. And that way we don't need like an ingredient channel, we don't need a cauldron channel, we only look for alchemy table channel, and depending on what we hit, we can then fire different things. The only thing that should be using the visibility trace channel for line tracing is the player's interaction. Outside of it, everything on the table needs its own channel. that I think would be a lot more robust. Like we have table itself. And that's fine. But I don't think we should have Cauldron. We'll just call like alchemy. Let's try it. I don't have any version control set up, so if we fuck up really bad, it is what it is. Okay, so I need to give everything on here, everything important on here, like this collision preset. It's actually weird that ignores visibility, but we use, okay, no, it's because we gave it its own. We want to ignore everything, but block alchemy. Right? Yeah, because no separate and visibility trace. So for the ingredients, hold on. Content, alchemy, ingredients. The ingredient cube needs to have ignore trace responses from that, block trace responses from alchemy. Let's ignore everything. Now on tick trace, the only thing we want to care about is alchemy trace channel. And when picking things up, we want alchemy table's fine, because that's separate logic for picking up and dropping off. That isn't affecting anything else negatively. But this visibility trace unstarted is what's causing the issue. And Cauldron we can move over to alchemy, actually, I think. God, I don't know if that'll work, but we'll try it. Oh, okay, hold on, let me turn this off. And I think I can move I think I can move this back in. It shouldn't be causing a problem anymore. Should be okay. Okay, we clearly have some form of issue. It's probably with the alchemy and camera states, I think, aren't being set up correctly because of this trace now. Why is that? Let's debug. I want to print the alchemy Alchemy state specifically. We'll start with that. The trace state. It's weird, it's not letting me pick it back up. Okay, so it's not an issue with the trace state, it's an issue with us dropping it. Something here. Oh, it's because we're setting the collision profile named the physics actor. We need to create. Yeah, and we set up a custom collision preset here for the cube. We need to make our own collision preset. We need it to be ingredient default, essentially. Hold on, physics body. Collision enabled query and physics. Ignore, block everything else. And then here we can change the collision profile to ingredient default. Okay, that's fixed. It's weird. It should be destroying the actor that we put in there. Well, let's finish putting all this stuff in then. Cauldron checker logic. Camera switching. Add ingredient to Cauldron. It should be destroying the actor. I don't know why it's not. That would be it. Perfect. Okay. It's not taking us back though. I thought we had set that up to work. Okay, let's debug the camera states then. Oh, I didn't hook up the tick. Okay, hold. Stop it. Doing it again. Okay, let's put a hold on. We're gonna see what it fires here. I know why. I know why. It's because if you're in Cauldron state and you right click on Cauldron again, we needed to not accept the same thing. And I think we do that by if the new state is equal to the current state, do nothing. I guess we can do it to not equal just so it's more straight that way. If they're not equal, go ahead, false. We just want to pump it right out. Think that'll solve it? Yes. Okay. Okay, bug solved. Easy one. Actually, Microraptor, when we enter full production, and that includes the vertical slice, because that is a part of production, in my opinion. I don't know if I said, okay, don't get off on a tangent. When we enter full production, we're going to be implementing something called a zero bug policy, which, if you know anything about games, is not common. Because pretty much every game that's releasing nowadays has a shit ton of bugs. Not everyone. Like, we just played Talos Principle, and I don't think I found a single bug in that, apart from a couple things with, like, lines being cut off, but nothing major. And a zero bug policy means that we prioritize fixing bugs before implementing new features. So when we implement a new system or a new feature, we fix the bugs, and then we move on to the new feature once there are no bugs that we find that are that need to be fixed. This is a kind of a different way of development than you often see with other studios, where they might fix some things, but they'll prioritize bugs and fix the big priority ones first and leave the lower priority ones for later. And while that is sometimes okay, it can still leave you with a lot of technical debt, and you're then going back to work on systems that you may have made or implemented 6 to 12 months ago or even longer. And so it's just like your mind hasn't remembered any of that. You've kind of forgotten what you did to implement, solutions that you used, band-aid fixes. So by using the zero bug policy, you're actually keeping everything really fresh in the mind of the programmer and the debugger in this case. And also your QA team can hyper focus on like one aspect at a time, and being able to just make sure that this is fixed and working with the rest of the game that is already bug free, and then we continue forward. So it should be a very interesting experiment. But from what I've read so far, every place that's implemented it has had exceptional results. It's just very daunting and not a traditional way of developing games. So I look forward to trying it. Okay, I think we have all the traces fixed by doing that change to how we trace. This is still a mess, and it is only taking into account essentially two things. Is it an ingredient or not? And there will be more things than just ingredient or not. We need to switch, in my opinion, on the thing that's actually being clicked. How do we do this? I think we can do it this way. We make a blueprint interface for like alchemy table item. We give it we can also just create like a blueprint class, but I think, oh, actually, I don't know. Well, either way, we find a way to just put like an enum on everything on the table that's going to be interactable while doing alchemy. And we can do this in a couple different ways. They each have their positives and negatives. We then, on this branch, we grab the hit actor or component, and we check if it is implementing this interface or whatever. And then we can do a switch on the enum on what it is. So we can just do a blueprint call like get this enum, and then switch on that enum. And that way we pretty much are always knowing which relevant alchemy table item do we have underneath our cursor at any time. And that'll be really, really flexible, because if we add a new item, we just add a new enum and we add logic associated to that. No more of this hide tooltip, show tooltip, all this stuff. Is it valid? Is it not? It's like if it doesn't implement that tooltip, we are idle. Our trace state. And then we can make a bit more like robust trace states too, potentially. Like hovering item, hovering cauldron, hovering whatever. It's a lot more data to like sift through, but I think it's a lot more stable as well. Yeah, and that shouldn't take too long. And that means we can like clean up this entire bullshit, in my opinion. A little bit loud in that. Need to like. it's okay. Hold on. Give me a sec. I'll do it this way. Better. Everything with regards to streaming, for me, it's easy. Even this mess of a 2-stream PC setup was like, okay, I get it, right? And using a capture card and all this bullshit. But the audio eludes me. What I really need is a mixer. I mean, that's the core of it, right? I need an audio mixer. Like a hardware one. Not important. Okay, will this idea of mine work? It will definitely work that I can get the right things under the cursor. It might mean that I have to refactor other things because of it. That's fine, because I know that what I'm going to be making is far more robust. Far more robust. So we need to make another blueprint interface. API, alchemy, table, item. Simple. Enum. New enum. Alchemy table item type. What do we have right now that the player can click on and shit? For now, I think it's just two things. I think it's just ingredient and cauldron. But we plan to have a lot more stuff, or at least more than two. Alchemy. Mine moving faster than my fingers. Okay, alchemy table item, we just want one function. Get item type. It outputs type. Okay, now we have no, that won't work, will it? It would only work if the cauldron was a separate item. Which we could do. No, the cauldron is a separate item, isn't it? It's a separate mesh, not a separate blueprint, but we could make it a blueprint. Let's just do that. Let's just create a blueprint from that. Oh god, what's the button? Can't you just like right click and make one? Create blueprint using this. Here we go. It's a table EP cauldron. This will be very simple. Why is it so tiny? Did we have to boost its scale? Yeah, we did. Do that here then. Class settings, inherit, implement an interface, BP, alchemy table item. Get item type, cauldron. And then for ingredient, we want to do the same thing. Class settings, implement an interface, add new one, table item, compile, get item type, ingredient, perfect, save. And here we can just replace this with, I'm gonna copy its transform, hold on. We're gonna add a child actor, cauldron, paste all properties, reset scale, child actor class, BP cauldron. Why is that on the tiny? We made its default scale 10. Those are gonna be like 1/100th? Okay, functionally the same as before. We do need to update its collision though. Gotta go have a great night. Thank you. We will. I don't know what the weather's like. I never check. Oh, it might be raining. Hope it's not raining. I gotta stop by the mall. Yeah, it's raining. Raining and it's gonna rain harder. Well, I still gotta do it. Shit. I mean, I say the mall, but it's really I just gotta get down to the store. Which is in the mall. Okay, we wanted this to be custom, right? Custom collision. You only need query. No, we do need physics. No, we do need, okay, we don't need, it's just, okay, ignore it. Ignore this alchemy block. Should work. Doesn't. Oops. And that's because we deleted Cauldron. So any references to Cauldron probably got fucked up. We didn't have any references to Cauldron. We had references to the hold on, Cauldron checker camera switchy. Switch to Cauldron cam. Line trace. Trace type. Alchemy. Hit component. No. We want hit actor. Well, it is a component. Technically, it's a child actor component. So I guess we could just do an equal to Cauldron. Oh, it's getting this, okay. We just need to, actually, I'm curious what hit actor, if it's a child actor, does it get the child? Let's check it out. I don't know. It is getting it. But Cauldron is being considered a child actor class. Static map. Child actor. We need to get child actor. And then it will equal properly. Then it should. Everything else is working as intended. Still have some weird bugs with. Not causing any errors, but there's still a weird bug where it's like respawning the new one that I'm grabbing, and I don't know why. It only happens if you're really fast about it, right? So it's like there's something that's not updating the firing. No, it's happening regardless. Yeah. It probably could be due to something with the trace, with this this tick trace. I think if we debug the trace state, we'll probably get to see what it is. Oh, it's keeping us in the dragging state. Why is that? Why did it not exit us to the idle state? Well, we know what's causing that. So it's a weird updating of the trace. Well, it's technically what this issue should solve. Or we need to get the hit actor. The thing is, it can sometimes be itself, right? Like in this case, the part of the... What was the problem down here? But it should still check if Cauldron implements interface, right? We should still be able to send a message to, what was it? It was get alchemy, get item type, right? This is what we wanted to replace it with. And if alchemy, if this type is equal to Cauldron, then we want to go forward. So does this work? Yes, it does. Okay, so it works, intended. That should be a lot more robust. Okay, so then we want to change everything up here. Not here, here. Let's see, let me put not a comment. In it actor, this is just for backup, right? So I can do whatever I want after this. I just need to make sure that this is correct. True, false. And then we can just kind of boop, boop, boop. And we can pull this out because we don't need it. Oh, here we want to get hit actor, get item type. And the message essentially does nothing if the item doesn't implement the interface. Now, I don't think that that means it stops execution. I think it will still execute, which is why we want to switch and turn on a default, can we? Hold on. Let me test this. I can test it pretty easily. I don't want this to print a log because it's just going to fill up our log with shit. Oh wait, let's turn off this this check too. Oops. Yeah, it's defaulting to ingredient. This is a problem. This is a problem. Well, I can just do a check. It does implement interface. And if it doesn't implement the interface of BPI alchemy table item, then we just don't do shit. But if it does, then we can do the switch on type. And there, we're safe. We're in the green. Yeah, that should work. Now I guess the trace state, we need to really bolster up this trace state. Where is it? Alchemy table trace state. Let's open that up. We can close this, we don't need it. Close this, we don't need it. This too. For now we just need these. Sorry, got a little sidetracked. Okay. Let's put this tick back on, but I want to tick the trace state, yes. Now it's not gonna update like at all. We can update Dragon. Dragon and Idol are updating fine. But we needed to update the hover. And we need to send a message to the item, which I think we did with hide and show tooltip. So how do we do that then? Because before what we were doing was if it's an ingredient, true, you have it picked up. If you have it picked up, hide the tooltip. If you don't have it picked up, set it that you're hovering it, show the tooltip, and then set your state to hovering. That's fine. And if you're not hovering, which means if you're in the idle state, check if the ingredient hovered is valid. If true, hide the tooltip. Then why do we set the ingredient hovered? Shouldn't we clear it? Oh, because hit actor will be nothing. And it won't show a tooltip to anything. That's really fucked up. That's really weird. Yeah, this might have been causing the problems with the teleporting and weird, I don't know. It was working, but this shouldn't be how it's set up. So when do we clear the ingredient? I guess the only time we clear the ingredient hovered is when this and the hit actor are null. God, that's really weird. Okay, let's like recreate it from scratch, but in a proper way, because I don't want to start copying shit over. Then we're just copying messy code over. Let's do this. Let's promote this to a variable. We'll do tick trace hit actor. Okay, if it's an ingredient, the first thing we want to check, I would say if it's valid. Hold on, let me do. Is valid. We want the execution version. Essentially just saves us a node on the branch, right? If it's valid, we want to check. What did we check here? We check if it's. Move this over. Do we have the ingredient picked up? If it's valid, we can set the tick trace actor to the ingredient being hovered, right? We can go like this. Then we can check, do we have the ingredient picked up? I guess no, we don't want to set that yet. Do this. Is it valid? Do we have it picked up? Yes, hide the tooltip. Otherwise, set it as the ingredient being hovered. We can set it there. Why wouldn't we set it there? Why wouldn't we set it? It's valid. It's valid. This is the right time to update that. We want it there. I'm just gonna pull it up. I want a lot of space here. I could go shopping tomorrow, but it's like it's raining. If this is to be believed, it's raining. Hold on, give me a sec. I'll go check. I'll go look outside. It ain't raining. I don't see no rain. No rain. Who the fuck said there's rain? Jesus Christ, the weather people can't even get the current weather accurate. I just look out the window. That's the current weather. Jesus Christ. I don't know what model this app I'm using is functioning on, but it's ass. Real ass. And not good ass. Like, there's good ass. It's like unclean, unshaven man ass, right? Nobody wants that. Okay. If it's valid, yes, that's the new ingredient being hovered, great. Does the player have it picked up? If so, hide the tooltip. Otherwise, show the tooltip and set this state to hovering. We want this. Okay. I mean, that's it, right? Like, if it's not valid, we just set the ingredient being hovered to null. What is ethical way of using AI? It's like a test. I think using it to brainstorm, to summarize your text or to reword things. You know, it's like a lot of the time I use AI, I'm just using it to more properly organize thoughts. So it's doing writing for me, but it's not writing things that I haven't already. No worries. What about art? I think that if you use AI to make art, it inevitably needs to be told which patterns of pixels are result in images that we recognize as its desired output, right? It needs to be trained on something to be told how to make that thing. And I think the ethical way of doing that is to license, to have artists license their art to be used in AI training models. I think if the artist is okay with that, with it being used to train, I think that's okay. I think doing it without their permission, explicit permission, then that's not okay. And I think that was the issue with Midjourney, right? Is that it was just being. I think that the people that train these AI models should publicly share this data, not necessarily their method of training, but this is our list of people that have been, and specific artist works that we have gotten permission to train on. You know, it's like an attribution, or in some case, right? Like if you write, otherwise it's plagiarism. I agree, but as a customer, I should not touch AI art until it is figured out. It's not illegal to do so right now for the customer. I do think that it is, you need to know that what it is. It could still be considered unethical to touch it right now until it's figured out. That would be my opinion. Set, and then set to idle. Set trace state. because it doesn't, we don't have anything being hovered. Oops. I mean, we're telling it to hide to show tooltip, right? On the ingredient. I guess what we could do in this case, which I think programmers would hate me for doing. They might. They might. I don't know. But I'm going to do it. You can tell me what you think. Okay, we can even make it look a little bit better. Probably shouldn't do this. That's like, it's gonna work. So right now I use AI art in cases where as placeholder, for instance, prototype, yeah, use it in places I don't benefit from it or not benefit a lot. Avatar and Discord, Steam, blog art, another way around. I would use some stock free internet art. Yeah. Like, it's like my Discord avatar is just the gesture from Darkest Dungeon, right? Like, I think a lot of people do that. And I'm in the same case. Like, I use it as placeholder or like concept art. And I understand, yes, I could be paying a concept artist. I just don't have the money to do that. And it's like, I'm not commercializing it, right? Like, I'm not making money off of this concept art. And there's no way that I would feel comfortable sharing it in like a book of our game's concept art, right? It's more like, it's just to convey the idea, and it's not it shouldn't really be used as a way to. Yes, exactly. I cannot afford an actual concept artist. I wish that I could, but I think that they should get paid properly, and I don't have enough money to pay them. But I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, when you buy a game concept art book, right? Like those big, thick ones. Like, I got one for Baldur's Gate 3, right? You wouldn't expect to see any AI art in there. And I certainly wouldn't put AI art in there as a dev. But I would use AI art to convey, like, hey, concept artists that I pay. This is kind of what I see, like, the scenery looking like. Now I want you to, take your creativity and make something unique from this. I agree, selling AI art is scummy because we don't have currently the place where it's licensable. But if I'm paying for Midjourney, and I bet Midjourney is making a fuck ton of money, right? I think that should go to paying for licenses the same way that Spotify works, right? Like, I pay money to Spotify, like, what is it, 15 zloty a month or something. And they then go and get licenses for their music. And I can play that music as I want. That doesn't mean that I can play it in every scenario, but I can listen to it. And it's not illegal. And I think that there should be some tiers. Also, thank you, Agushia. Also, good luck to you as well. Get feeling better. I think there should be tiers. Like, if I buy Midjourney Basic, I can get these images and I can use them in non-commercial form, which I think is how it works, right? I don't remember. The second one should allow me to, like, use it in certain commercial forms, and all this money should then go to licensing art and artists to use in their training model. And if that increases the price of it, so be it. But at least then it is 100% ethical and safe, and I can clearly use it and not get in trouble for it. That's my view. Hey, if I half that, is it going to be a problem? No, that works. Okay, it's kind of messy, but it works. Yeah, but what do you do now? I don't want to rip my blog out of art, and at the same time, I wouldn't have any art if it's not the case of AI art. Yeah, you're right. It's not a selling point. I mean, we got on just fine before AI art, right? It's just that AI art made decent quality of art, custom art, very, very easy to obtain by the world. And I think that is a good thing. I don't think it can replace artists. I just think what we can do about it is just, I guess, acknowledge that it is not the most ethical form of it at the moment, and speak up about making it more ethical. That you would still be willing to pay for Midjourney if you knew that everything being used in its training model was licensed or was approved. And realistically, I think there's a strong case that it should have already been that way. And I think artists have a right, to some extent, to litigate. However, it does kind of fall into the gray area of, has the original art been changed enough that this is now a, what's the word for it? It's essentially now its own thing. And I can do that, right? Like I could cut art out of newspapers, like pictures of art, like the Mona Lisa, screaming, the screamer, whatever the fuck it's called. I could cut little pieces of that, make a collage, and technically it's mine. It's my new art. Because it is now such a derived, fucked up version of the original thing. I don't know, it's kind of like that. Yes, I think that inevitably it will be, if we can create a new baseline, then the expectations of the customer will just increase, because now the bottom line has changed, and it's that way with art, right? I don't know. Let me finish. Let me finish this. I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, alchemy table. This is working, I think. I think we've cleaned up everything regarding this bullshit, right? Hold on. We're not switching from hovering to idle. Why is that? Should be doing that. Let me test it. Weird, okay. What's the, how do I pause? Why is it doing that? You guys can see it, but it's, because it's hitting an actor that does create it. So it's not switching back to being idle. Because it's hitting the cauldron and it's hovering the cauldron. But it's okay if it's hovering the cauldron. We needed to, it's probably just because we haven't set this up, because it's getting item type, going to cauldron, but it's not doing anything on cauldron. And it only happens there, right? It's just because we're hitting another object. That implements it, and we don't have any logic hooked up to it yet. Or we just set it, we set this to idle here. Right? No, it didn't do it. We only want to set it to hovering if it's hitting. What is it? Why is it doing this? It's like by default we need it to just to set to idle. We almost need to like set it to idle. That was implemented. Get item type. I don't know why it's occurring. It's occurring because we set this to hovering. But the only time we switch it to idle is when we don't get something that implements it. We want to get it to idle. We only want to set it to hovering if it's actually hovering over an ingredient, and that ingredient is staying hovered. Otherwise, we go back to idle. Idles are default. Well, it's really that we would just have to handle the idle base in. Yeah, but I don't like that. I want to handle it. I want it to default be idle. Or it's only an issue because we're hovering. Hovering ingredient. Hovering cauldron. I mean, this is what we wanted to do, was just make more trace states so that we knew exactly what we were doing at every time of that trace, and not just lumping every single thing that you're hovering over into one trace state. That's just dumb. Really dumb. So essentially, this state trace is hovering ingredient. Let's see, let's find trace state. Get references. Idle set, okay, that's the old shit. Dragon ingredient, that's fine. Set to idle here is fine. Old logic. This we can actually we could just do a switch on. Hovering ingredient or hovering cauldron. That will make that a lot more robust. Hovering ingredient, idle, alchemy tree, okay. Do we use that anywhere else? No, we don't. Need to focus meeting streaming, no worries, no worries. I'm gonna be getting off soon anyway, so don't worry. Yeah, okay. Cauldron we can set to hovering cauldron. Ooh, that's so much more robust. Yeah, that's great. That's really, really good. Like, just now we know exactly what's going on at all times. And the more accurate the info, the better we can do. I mean, we could still check if the ingredient... Yeah, but we can do that here. We can, instead of doing the validation check here, we'll just put it here. And then we can just delete all this. But this way we can have just a much more robust zoom. And if we add any other trace states, like you know, we wanted to add like your alchemy book or whatever the hell we want to call it. Then we can just set up some very basic functionality to switch the trace state. So essentially, all we would have to do is implement the interface on the thing that we want to be able to gain focus from that tick trace. We give it a type, a alchemy table item type, and then we just put our logic. We hook our logic up, and it should be completely safe. Because we're only doing one thing now. When we hover, we're only in one single state, and we only do logic based on that state. Nothing else. And the same thing goes for our right click. Or it should. Yeah, this alchemy zoom, which we can also just call alchemy right click at some point, right? Either way, it should work. And I think we can delete the hovering now entirely. I don't know if we use that anywhere. Oh, but it's gonna move everything. It's gonna move everything because it'll go up one. Is there any way that I can like... Maybe the bit mask flags. When enabled, this enumeration can be used as a set of explicitly named bit mask flags. Each enumerator's value will correspond to the index of the flag in the mask. I think if we do that, hold on, let me look that up, because it could fuck everything up if I do that. UE5 enum bit mask. Like having a collection of booleans without having to keep track of a dozen different mask packs. I just need to know if I set that up and then I delete an enum. E5. All right. Delete enum item. I need to remove it. Oh, thank you. So hello. God, I have like all my family tuning in today. Unfortunately, again, I am going to be getting off pretty soon. I do apologize to anybody in the in North America, but my stream times are not the greatest. And now you know why it's really annoying for me to... I won't say annoying. What I mean is like it's a really... I wish it were easier to get in contact with everybody back home, but yeah, the time zone difference sucks. I'm pretty sure though if I delete the enum, it's going to move everything that uses that up. Email does work if I wasn't really bad at responding to emails. I'm just so forgetful. I look at it and like, okay, I'm busy. I'm gonna write back. And then I forget. I forget all the time. I have the memory of a goldfish. No, actually, that's kind of rude to goldfish because they have even better memories than me. Look, it's so bad that I just said this and it took 10 seconds for me to say this and already I've forgotten what I was doing. It's so bad. Yeah. I miss everybody back home. Hopefully we can get to you guys this next year. Maybe for the summer. We were thinking the summer because it'll obviously be easier for packing, but there's so many great activities we could do in summer or autumn. All the harvest fests and Renaissance fair. It'd be great. Okay, what was it? Okay, I was gonna see if I can delete this alchemy trace state and have it not screw up. Like, dude. That's just localizing. Oh god, I'm gonna mess it up. Yeah, it will be awesome whenever. Christmas could be pretty cool. But summer would be kind of nice. Summer would be. I delete this trace state. Not have it ruin my entire life. Can I just control A? I'm just gonna control A, control C, and then I'm just gonna paste it all in here. And theoretically, if I need to undo it, it should be okay. Let's try. Okay, where do I do a trace state check? That one's okay, but that was because it's in the same one. Yeah, this is okay. No, that being invalid is okay. Hovering ingredient. If I try to compile it though, no, it doesn't. Dragging ingredient. Idle, but we can just test it. Just test it. Dragon ingredient, hovering cauldron. Yeah, that's looking correct. Good, we got rid of it. Good. Tick trace ingredient logic. Old tick trace logic. And cauldron. We don't really need anything for the cauldron yet. We might do something, but for now it's fine. Tick trace cauldron logic. At least setting it to the right enum is a good start. This is kind of like tick trace check logic. Trace, check, and switch. That, let's get this separated. Have to be AFK, I miss you finishing. If I miss you finish, it was good to see you and hear you. Yeah, I'll probably have to finish pretty soon. Get going. But yeah, it was really nice. Really nice. I wish my stream times were better for family members to tune in, but I apologize. I don't want to have a messed up schedule myself, you know. Okay, I think that's good. I could move the alchemy click and drag functions over to its own event graph. Theoretically. I mean, really, I could also just move this because it doesn't... I mean, traces aren't considered... They don't take time, right? They're done every frame. So theoretically, I could just move these over to functions if they're robust enough. Yeah, really, every time I use does implement interface, I should probably just move that over to the more robust logic that I implemented with alchemy table item. I could move that over to a macro then, to take an object in and then output its type if it implements interface. With 2 execution nodes. Maybe you should do that. Let's put up a macro. Get item type. Oops, not with a. No input and object reference. And we need 2 execution nodes. Then we can hide it. I think if, no, it's first. Exec. What's the way to hide it if it's the first one? UE5 macro execution names. I think is it execute? Yes. I don't know why that bothers me so much, but I have to do that. Out. There 2? Oh wait, I do need to name these anyway, actually. Right? Does implement type God, what do we want to name it? Like more like as type, no type. First, we'll just do a validation. We don't need it. Okay. Does implement interface. Alchemy table item. What are you trying to do? It's actually a good question. I feel like somebody should ask me that every 5 minutes just to make sure that I know what's going on and that I haven't gotten sidetracked. We're going to boil this down to a macro. Well, this down to a macro because we're going to use this in other places in this blueprint. So I could make it into a smaller single node that I can then reuse in multiple places. Save myself a bit of time in the future. Does implement interface true? If so, get item type. Has type, no interface. And then we want to output the type as well, which is the alchemy table item type. That'll be type. Okay, does not, no interface, has type, type. Boom. Looks good. And then we can do macro. Item type, object, has type, no interface, type, and we can delete. I'm gonna switch the has type and no interface around. I might be able to later, because I'll have to go immediately after this to the store. Like I end the stream and then I immediately upload it to YouTube, and then I get out of here, I go to the store, and that's. But when I'm free, I'll let you know. Okay, I think we did it. I think we did everything we wanted to here. And I feel way, way better about this going into the weekend. It doesn't feel like we're operating in the dark anymore and just kind of putting shit together. That bug is still occurring though. We are making this game, yeah. Yeah, we're early, super early stages of this game. I think there's hold on, two. That tells you a little bit about it. And we're just working on the alchemy mini game right now and perfecting it. Well, perfecting the prototype of it, making it fun, giving it all the functions it should have. It's not pretty yet. There's no art. It's just making it functional to test if it's enjoyable. And we do that for each individual system. We put it all together, and that's called our first playable. And then after that, we can start to work on the vertical slice, where we make everything with the proper art, the proper sounds, in the proper pipeline. And that's going to look a lot more like an actual game. And then that's kind of going to be our demo for the game, is our vertical slice. So we're in the super early stages of just concepting these ideas and testing them out, seeing if they're fun. But it doesn't look very pretty. It's not meant to, but it also doesn't make for the most interesting stream. But when we get to after first playable, going to vertical slice, I think that this is going to be way more attractive of a stream to watch, because we're actually going to be working with finalized assets and sounds and all that. Why was that bugging out? I want to do another. Let's check the tick trace again. I want this to print to log. It's getting locked on dragging ingredient. Weird. Getting locked on dragging ingredient. Has no interface. It's probably because we're not doing a validation. Well, let me test it over on the side here. Okay, hold on. Oh, okay, yeah, it's at this branch. Is that even necessary anymore? It's not screwing up with the type anymore. But it is doing something weird with the, and I think that's an issue. An issue with the ingredient that's being set that I thought that this would fix. Well, we can check that. I think it's an issue with this, with the ingredient being hovered. I'm only going to print it to the screen for a short amount of time. That way we can just check if it's actually relevant. It's not forgetting that it's being hovered when we go back to idle. That's the issue. We can probably do that to nullify it, no matter what. It's pretty hello. Hold on. Let's test it without that anymore. Okay. Working good, working as intended. Not still doing it. Still doing it and still locking state. All right. Let's deal with that next week, because that's a much smaller and focused problem than what I was dealing with before. And at least now I know that we've cleared up this logic that I think it's a lot more viable. So we'll deal with that next week. But for now, I need to get going. I need to get out of here. Thank you so much, everybody, for appearing today for both Talos Principle 2 and our small bit of dev. I'm going to put them both up on YouTube. I'm going to put the dev stream up first, and then I'm going to try to get the gameplay one up later, because I have to do a little bit of work to that description and categorizing, because I set up a template, but I can only have one template, and the template I'm using is for the dev streams. So I'm gonna get that fixed. I'm gonna remote in later. I'll get the Talos Principle 2 up on YouTube and into its own category, its own playlist. And then we'll be good to go next week with more Talos Principle 2 and more dev. Just depends on when we finish something or how much time we have. So again, thank you everybody for showing up today. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay dry, and love you all. And if you're not following Twitch, please feel free to give us a follow. Keep up to date with streams. We have a Discord you can join for stream information or to chat with us directly. We have a YouTube channel, and if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Please give the video a like and our channel a subscribe. And what else? We have a Twitter. You can give that a follow too. We post when we're about to go live on that, and some updates about how our development is going. So again, thank you, and everybody take care.